Hello, my name is Dr. Sushma Nagarkar. I'm a psychologist by profession and the managing trustee of Yash Charitable Trust, YCT as it's called, an NGO based in Mumbai that works with and for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Most children with disabilities require accommodations when they are in school to access the curriculum and have successful learning outcomes. When individuals with disabilities join the workforce, they often require accommodations at the workplace in order to achieve success at their jobs. This presentation highlights how we at YCT provide successful work experiences to our team members with disabilities by using a strength based approach and providing simple accommodations where needed. India was a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities that was held in 2006. 10 long years later, the Rights of Persons with Disabilities (RPWD) Act, as it's called, was enacted in 2016. This is a more comprehensive version of the Persons with Disabilities Act of 1995, which at that time had listed 7 disabilities. The RPWD Act of 2016 lists 21 disabilities. The RPWD Act provides directives for several aspects of the lives of persons with disabilities. These include education, vocational training and employment, social security, health, recreation, and so on. Under employment, there is also a subsection on the imperative for providing reasonable accommodations at the workplace. A good way to think about the notion of reasonable accommodations is whatever it takes, within limits, of course, to level the playing field for the person with disabilities. The adjustments must be provided as needed and on an ongoing basis, thus giving the person with disabilities an equal opportunity to demonstrate a certain competency in the assigned role at the workplace. So it needs frequent visiting, oftentimes, to see whether the accommodations or the adjustments are appropriate and if something more needs to be done to help that individual do his job. Conversations as to what is considered reasonable should be had at the outset. Accommodations vary for each person depending on their position, the impact of their disability on their performance, and of the work environment that they're in. So these are ongoing discussions between the employer and the employee. Switching gears now, Yash Charitable Trust was set up in 2014 to work with and for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities such as autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and so on. Our vision is to provide opportunities for persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities to live and work in the community of their choice with dignity and self respect. And so everything we do at YCT is about helping our adults attain the quality of life that they desire, helping them to become the best versions of themselves that they would like to be, and to live happily in their communities. At YCT, therefore, we have two major verticals. One of these provides skill training and supported employment. The other one provides all the other wraparound services that adults need to negotiate a world, the adult world, that is so very different from the world of school and the school system. So at YCT, we currently employ 24 individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities across our 4 supported employment sites. We have a kitchen, it's called the Arpan Kitchen, where we do a dabba service or a tiffin service cooking fresh lunches and dinners. We also accept and execute outdoor catering orders. And our team members are an integral part of this entire process, right from buying materials to delivering, perhaps sometimes serving, packing, everything, and as well as the cooking process, of course. In 2018, after our tribe became bigger, we launched Cafe Arpan in Mumbai. It's Mumbai's first cafe that is run primarily by adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We also run a second cafe at a corporate office in eastern Mumbai. And again, our persons with disabilities are part of the entire team. In 2023, we began the Arpan Bakery. Here, the bakery provides the breads and other products, desserts, etc., that we need in our cafes as well as in the tiffin service. And at the Arpan Bakery, we train and employ individuals who are interested in bakery and furthering their skill set in that line, profession. So, what do we do for our people who are employed with us? Several things. I have a few examples that I'd like to put forth out here of how we provide accommodations at the workplace. Nandini is a young lady with Down syndrome. She loves her work and feels very responsible about her assigned duties. Nandini is just very tiny in stature, and therefore she needs when she's cooking, she needs something at her height. We've been fortunate to find this electric wok that is just at the right height for Nandini to use. And so, right now in this photograph here, she's actually cleaning after having completed the product, whatever they're serving in the dabbas. Nandini also has other physical challenges. She tires easily, so she needs adjusted work timings. Given that she is, she needs frequent breaks, and if she's provided the breaks and the adjusted work hours that she needs, she's able to complete her assigned work competently. Here we have Simran, who's a young lady with dystonia. She loves her work and is very enthusiastic about the new learnings that occur on a very frequent basis. Due to her difficulties, she needs breaks if the tasks are too physically taxing for her, so she does take breaks. She has decided and she believes that standing to do kitchen work is a better option for her than sitting. So she prefers to stand and complete the work at hand. Due to her speech constraints, because of her dystonia, it is important for those around her to wait for her to respond or say what she needs to say. She has a lot to say, it's just that it takes time for her to say it. Having a conversation with her requires other people around her just to have that, give her that wait time and that respect that she needs. But she certainly has a lot to say to her peers and her colleagues and is a wonderful addition to our team. Anand has been working at Cafe Arpan since 2018 and handles the beverage making. As a person, he is a perfectionist and must get everything done absolutely correctly as he perceives it. He thus needs time to complete tasks and, due to his low literacy level, needs visual supports also. If there are too many orders to execute simultaneously, he may get confused and needs a little more supervision than he normally would need. Again, something that is very easily possible for us to provide the supervision and provide him step by step directions if he needs them when the cafe gets really crowded. Nikhil is a person with ASD who is very proud, in his words, to be a working man. He is excellent as a counter assistant. His main job as a counter assistant is to take orders, to suggest menu items to customers, to take payments, and to reconcile the payments at the end of the day. It's a tall responsibility that Nikhil is able to execute very competently. However, when there is a lot of noise or chaos, or when the cafe gets really busy and crowded, Nikhil's anxiety does shoot up, and he needs somebody around him to ensure that allay his fears about making a mistake, basically. So he needs somebody just to be there to support him. And then he is very good about advocating for breaks during the day when things get too overwhelming for him. So he takes the breaks during downtimes in the cafe and is very good about just taking as much of a break as he needs, which is roughly about 5 minutes. And then he's back to work, having worked through his anxiety and his feeling of stress. So it's a wonderful way for him to actually be able to do his job very well, and also advocate for the breaks that he needs, which is works fine for all of us. Aaron is our master chef, also a person with ASD. In a calm, controlled environment, he demonstrates mastery over the kitchen and executing orders that come his way. The visual supports are there not because he really needs them as such, but help him to check his work when there are many orders for him to execute. He talks very little, so he does need to be around colleagues who understand him and give him the space that he requires to work. And once he has both of these things, he's remarkable in this position as the chef in charge almost all days at Cafe Urban. Sadik is a person with ASD. He is dependent on structure, routine, and predictability. Very dependent on all of these things, actually. If his routine changes, he does need to be informed well in advance that the routine is going to change, and he also needs to processing time to make the adjustments that he needs to make. He is very routine oriented, even in terms of his prayers, and so he has provided the space and the privacy to do so. It is absolutely not a big deal for us, and he feels respected through the process. So Sadik works very well when he knows what the expectations are, and as I said, when the environment and everything is predictable for him. So we have to inform him much ahead of time if something's going to be different on a particular day. He may be a little bit anxious, but he is able to manage himself once he is informed ahead of time. Sudha here has been with us for many years now. Along with her intellectual disability, she also has multiple sclerosis, due to which her needs have become more significant now than they were when she began with us. She unfortunately tends to lose her balance because of the MS, and thus needs tasks that can be completed while sitting. Very enthusiastic about completing her assigned work, a great team player, very patient, almost motherly to some of her colleagues. She does need adjusted work hours because of the fatigue that sets in, and also needs help with negotiating tricky environments, which are maybe not smooth and uneven surfaces. She also needs some help with climbing up and down stairs. But other than that, she's a joy, very, very participative, contributes to the larger kitchen work there, and very personable. So, as mentioned at the outset, this here is just a small glimpse of what we at YCT do to accommodate some of our. There are many more stories, but due to the time available, I'm not going to go into some of those. but we do work with each individual. We first of all work, as I mentioned at the beginning, within a strength-based approach. Our framework is strength-based. And so we identify strengths, understand interests and aptitudes of our persons, and then try to match their interests, aptitudes to the assigned roles and provide the accommodations that they need as in an ongoing basis. Research has clearly demonstrated that employing persons with disabilities makes full and complete business sense. Although YCT is not a business in and of itself, but all of us, the community at large, have to be attuned to the challenges employees with disabilities face. And it is really important to preemptively provide suitable accommodations to ensure lasting success. It is also the right thing to do. Thank you.